Good evening. We're going to call the meeting to order. Please join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Before we approve the agenda, I wanted to mention Christy Ramsey is absent tonight because of work travel, and so we need to appoint a temporary secretary in her place because we have a couple of resolutions on the agenda tonight and we need to do signatures right after the meeting. So I'd like to nominate Nick to be our temporary secretary tonight. Can I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, Kelly. And any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks, Nick. We have a draft agenda in front of us. Can I have a motion to approve?
Move.
Jake? Support? Tricia? All in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. First on the agenda is recognition. Dr. Matthews?
Thank you, Mr. Folsom. We will turn to our middle school Students of the Month, and I think we have the video ready.
This is Lucy. Her mom is Jessica. She does not have any siblings, but she has a few pets. One cat named Helen, one cat named Aurora, one horse named Jordan, another cat named Pluto, and even a tarantula named Posy. She comes to us from Parkside Elementary. Lucy likes theater, orchestra, art, writing, and also generating content and video editing.
I'd like to be an actor, and I love doing dramatic arts or be a violinist. I love orchestra and jamming out with my friends. Katniss Everdeen from Hunger Games, because she definitely knows how to survive through tough times. I'm very proud of myself, and I'm happy that my hard work was recognized, and it's motivating me to work even harder.
This is Adam. Adam's parents are Zach and Krista. He has two siblings, Ben and Luke. He does not have any pets. Adam comes to us from Crestwood Elementary. He likes to play soccer, golf, surfing, and he also likes to fish.
I want to be a soccer player. I don't really know yet, but I'm planning on to be a soccer player. Talking to friends and talking to friends. Probably my friends, because they'd entertain me and we could hang out with each other and stuff. It means to me to be nice and be kind and have good grades and respect peers and stuff.
This is Avery. Her parents are Melissa and Jeff. She has one sister named Sienna and one dog named Leo. She comes to us from Lakes Elementary. She likes to participate in orchestra, youth orchestra, and also writes and arranges music.
I want to own a financial business, but at the end of the day, I just want to be happy. Orchestra and the community that comes with it. The majority of my friends are from orchestra, and playing music with them is one of my favorite parts of the day. One of my friends, but I'm not sure which one because there are different types of violins, and my friends have different types of strengths. It means a lot to me. I always try to be the best student I can be, and it is really an honor to be Student of the Month.
This is Isaac. Isaac's parents are Angela and Justin. He has one brother named Evan. He does not have any pets. He comes to us from Lakes Elementary. He likes drama club, Odyssey of the Mind, and orchestra.
I don't know, probably some sort of engineer, robotics engineer, aerospace engineer, not sure. School, probably orchestra. I really like playing my cello. It's a lot of fun. Probably someone who could get me off that deserted island. I honestly don't know. I wasn't expecting Student of the Month. I guess I'm just a decent person, so hooray, go being a nice person.
This is Kinley. Kinley's parents are Justin and Bree. Her siblings are Kaya, Carson, and Crew. She has one fish named Bubbles. She comes to us from Lakes Elementary and Meadow Ridge Elementary. She likes to play basketball for school and also travel.
I want to be a children's doctor and I want to work at a children's hospital because I love helping people. I like being able to see all my friends and peers every day, and I really like the joy that it brings me. Probably my younger sister, because we always have a lot of fun and she always knows what to do. I feel very honored, and I know that I just need to keep being my best self every single day.
This is Marty. Marty's parents are Kelly and Rula. His siblings are Sean, Aidan, and Tara. He does not have any pets. He comes to us from Lakes Elementary. He likes to ski, participate in drama club, play video games, and hang out with friends.
I want to be an actor because I really love the theater department. I would say probably the after school clubs, like the drama club because I'm in that, and also just hanging out with my friends. Probably Bear Grylls because he has all that survival technique, and if I were to be in like a bleeding situation, he'd probably know what to do just with sand or something. I feel like it's like being like a role model to other students.
This is Audrey. Her parents are Melody and Samuel. She has one brother named Gavin and 2 cats. She comes to us from Meadow Ridge Elementary. Audrey likes coloring and playing games with her family.
I want to help kids get through tough times, so probably being a teacher or a counselor. To probably hang out with my friends, probably my family and my 2 cats. I think that it's an honor to have my hard work appreciated, and I feel really proud of myself.
This is Jose. His parents are Jose and Nicole. He has 2 siblings, Jacob and Natalie. He also has 3 dogs. Their names are Jax, Nellie, and Nico. He went to Lakes Elementary. Jose likes to play outside of school and likes to do a lot of sports like football, soccer, and basketball.
I want to go into the military, specifically the Air Force, and do search and rescue. Probably like talking to my friends and like meeting new people, but also I like gym a lot. My friends probably, but like my top 2 would probably be Bryce and Luke. It means a lot to me, but mostly like being a nice person and just like helping people if they ask for it.
This is Amelia. Amelia's parents are James and Cassie. Amelia's siblings are Cora and Josephine. Amelia has chickens named Frank, Greta, and Clover. Amelia comes to us from Crestwood Elementary. She likes to play volleyball, participate in orchestra, and also links.
When I grow up, I want to be involved in some sort of like therapy, art, or music. My favorite thing about school is like getting to meet new students and learn more things about them. On a stranded island, I would want to be with maybe one of my peers that I haven't got to know yet. It means a lot to be selected Student of the Month. I've really been trying to try out new experiences this year, and being Student of the Month kind of just shows me that I should keep going in that path.
This is Evan. Evan's parents are Angela and Justin. He has one brother, Isaac. He does not have any pets. Comes to us from Lakes Elementary. Outside of school, he likes to be involved with Dungeons and Dragons, imagination-powered role-playing games. Also, he participates in Odyssey of the Mind, Worldwide Creativity Competition. He's a 5-year participant, gold medalist, and world finalist.
When I grow up, I want to be something that involves math, money, investments. I'm not sure quite what yet. In school, I like learning new things, being challenged, hanging out with my friends. Someone that could get me off of the deserted island or my friends. To be Student of the Month for me means it's an honor, and it means that I guess I've been a really good person for trying to be kind and representation for my efforts of my schoolwork.
This is Savannah. Savannah's parents are Brian and Justine. Savannah's siblings are Hayden, Cam, Bree, May, and Addie. She does not have any pets. She comes to us from Rockwood Elementary. She likes to play softball, and she likes helping at her mom's shop and also hanging out with friends.
When I grow up, I want to be a veterinarian because I like helping animals, and it's like a really good job career. My favorite thing about school is like I get to learn new things, and I get to hang out like with friends after school. Who I want to be stranded with on a deserted island, it's got to be my sister Hayden. Honestly, I don't know, but all I know is that I'm like really honored to be selected to be Student of the Month.
This is Rylan. Rylan's parents are Carrie and Don. He has one sibling named Caden. Rylan has one dog named Maddie. He comes to us from Canonsburg Elementary. He likes to play the cello, he likes to do theater, and also learning languages and playing games.
I'd like to be a cellist because I really enjoy the cello because it can just make all different kinds of sounds. It can make beautiful sounds, and it can make fierce, powerful sounds. My favorite thing about the school is the opportunities that come up, and you know, the I like the after-school clubs like theater and orchestra and all that. I think I would like to be stranded with my friends because it gives me company and they could help me out surviving. I think it's a great honor to be selected as Student of the Month, and it just makes me happy.
Avali is a 6th grade student on our Espinoza, Torres, and Van Oss team. Parents are Christina and Duncan. Avali has 2 siblings named Carter and Charlie, as well as a dog named Kiwi. Avali attended Roguewood Elementary School and is active in soccer, basketball, golf, and sings in the choir.
When I grow up, I want to be someone who helps people. I think that my favorite thing about school is hanging out with my friends in the gym in the morning. I think I would rather work at the perfect job than win the lottery because I think it would be more like doing something I love than working. For me, being selected as Student of the Month is like a huge honor. I really appreciate it.
Jack is a 6th grade student on our Espinoza, Torres, and Van Oss team. Parents are Carrie and Ray. Jack has a sibling named Audrey, as well as a dog named Rocco. Jack attended Roguewood Elementary School and is active in many sports, playing video games, and sings in the choir.
Grow up, I want to be a professional football player because football is my favorite sport. My favorite thing about school is hanging out with my friends and lunch and gym. If I would rather win the lottery and work at the perfect job, I would probably work at the perfect job because I would really rather have fun than just like have a lot of money and don't do anything. It means a lot to me because basically everybody's like surprised and stuff, and my parents are really proud of me.
Jayla is a 7th grade student. Parents are Amy and Chris. Jayla has a sibling named Amelia. Jayla attended Roguewood Elementary School and is active in lacrosse, basketball, volleyball, and track.
When I grow up, I want to be a photographer. My favorite thing about school is playing sports, doing well in my classes, and hanging out with my friends. I would want to be stranded on a deserted island with my sister. I'm very honored to be selected as Student of the Month, and I'm very proud of myself.
Huck is a 7th grade student. Parents are Katie and Mike. Huck has 2 siblings named Maeve and Hudson, as well as a dog named Chester. Huck attended Belmont Elementary School and is active in basketball, swimming, and plays the bass in the orchestra.
When I grow up, I want to be a doctor because I like helping people. My favorite thing about school is probably team sports because I like to be active. If I was stranded on a deserted island, I'd probably want to be stranded with my grandpa because he's an outdoorsman. Being selected as Student of the Month means that people really notice how I'm a good person and a good student.
Elena is an 8th grade student. Parents are Jennifer and William. Elena has a sibling named Caleb, as well as 2 dogs named Harper and Bentley. Elena attended Roguewood Elementary School and is active in gymnastics and plays the violin in the orchestra.
When I grow up, I want to be a party planner. My favorite thing about school is math and orchestra. If I had $1 million, I would probably buy a gym and give some to charity. I'm very proud to be elected Student of the Month because it shows how much people have noticed that I've been working hard in school.
Daniel is an 8th grade student. Parents are Kristen and Michael. Daniel has a sibling named David, as well as a dog named Clover. Daniel attended Roguewood Elementary School and is active in tennis and plays trumpet in the band.
When I grow up, I'd like to be a doctor. My favorite thing about school is hanging out with my friends in science class. If I had $1 million, I would probably invest it and spend some to have fun with my family. It's a great honor to be selected as Student of the Month, and I'm very grateful.
Abby is a 6th grade student on our Gauthier and Zomberg team. Parents are Sherry and Joel. Abby has a sibling named Logan, as well as a dog named Izzy and a cat named Phoebe. Abby attended Belmont Elementary School and is active in volleyball, gymnastics, and plays French horn in the band.
When I grow up, I want to be a vet. My favorite thing about school is seeing my friends every day. I would rather work at the perfect job because I would rather work for something instead of just being handed it. It means a lot. I put a lot of hard work into school, and I'm glad that my teachers see that I did that.
Gabe is a 6th grade student on our Gauthier and Zomberg team. Parents are Lisa and Josh. Gabe has a sibling named Sophia, as well as a cat named Oliver. Gabe attended Parkside Elementary School and is active in soccer, track and field, and plays percussion in the band.
When I grow up, I want to be a professional soccer player or a runner. My favorite thing about school is either lunchtime because I get to play with my friends and eat. I would choose to work at the perfect job because I can meet new people and I can still earn money. It makes me feel good because it makes me think that I get recognized for all my hard work by my teachers.
Lillian is a 7th grade student. Parents are Rachel and Zach. Lillian has 2 siblings named Harrison and Thaddeus, as well as a dog named Shadow. Lillian attended Valley View Elementary School and is active in basketball, drama club, and sings in the choir.
When I grow up, I want to be a surgeon. My favorite thing about school is probably my 6th hour. I have all my friends in that class. If I get stranded on a deserted island, I would want to be with my best friend. It would make it more fun and entertaining. It means to me that I got selected to be Student of the Month, that all the work I put into my schoolwork and tests and grades, that is actually being noticed.
Liam is a 7th grade student. Parents are Jennifer and Jared. Liam has a sibling named Claire, as well as a dog named Maya. Liam attended Roguewood Elementary School and is active in track and field, tennis, cross country, and plays violin in the orchestra.
When I want to grow up, I like to keep my options open, but meteorology has always interested me, so something along that science would be pretty cool. Probably either getting to learn lots of new skills that I can use later in life, or just having a lot of fun with my friends. If I were stranded on a deserted island, I would probably want to be with some of my family or my friends, just to be able to have people that I can rely on to help me either get off or just survive. It's a really big deal for me. It just goes to show that all of the hard work that I put into being a role model towards my friends and peers is being recognized by teachers and staff.
Naomi is an 8th grade student. Parents are Susan and Brent. Naomi has a sibling named Gabby, as well as a dog named Jasper. Naomi attended Roguewood Elementary School and is active in art and plays violin in the orchestra.
When I grow up, I want to be an orchestra teacher. My favorite thing about school is lunchtime because I get to hang out with all my friends. If I had $1 million, I would donate most of it to an animal shelter and keep some for college. It means that I need to keep up my good work and that I'm impressing my teachers.
Brady is an 8th grade student. Parents are Jennifer and Jeff. Brady has a sibling named Drew, as well as a dog named Harvey. Brady attended Belmont Elementary School and is active in bowling club, playing video games, hanging out with friends, and plays violin in the orchestra.
When I grow up, I probably want to be an engineer because my dad is one. My favorite thing about school is lunch because it's a nice 30-minute break and I get to see a lot of my friends. If I had $1 million, I'd probably invest some with my dad's help and donate some and maybe put some into college funds. To me, being selected Student of the Month means that my teachers recognize how hard I try to work in school.
All right, I think we have some Students of the Month in the audience with us tonight. If you don't mind, please stand. Thank you for being here tonight, and congratulations again on your well-deserved recognition. We appreciate you being here. Keep up the great work. We will pause for just a moment. We will pause in a moment to allow you a chance to leave, but hang in there for our next piece of recognition. Dr. Matthews?
Thank you. Our next piece of recognition tonight is that we want to recognize Mandy Makita Scott. Ms. Scott is in her 21st year of teaching and her 16th at her alma mater, Rockford High School, where she is the director of choirs and teaches around 125 students daily in 4 ensembles. Ms. Scott studied at Western Michigan University and received her Master of Music in Choral Conducting from the University of Miami. Her choirs have had the opportunity to perform in Carnegie Hall, the National Cathedral, the World Games in Riga, Latvia, where they earned gold medals in their categories, and St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, Italy. Most recently, in 2023, she conducted a concert tour of Spain with the Rockford Choirs with sold-out concerts in Barcelona, Valencia, and Madrid. Her choirs have also performed at both the ACDA Michigan Fall Conference and the Michigan Music Conference. She has conducted an ensemble at the Michigan School Vocal Music Association All-State Ensemble Recital 8 times. Her teaching is energetic and enthusiastic. She is always eager to help, as evidenced by her willingness to help me out at our back-to-school staff events. But most importantly tonight is that she values each and every student who walks into her classroom. As we work to continue to build a great district, creating spaces where students feel valued and respected is a critical piece of the puzzle. And we're recognizing Ms. Scott because she has been recognized as the Michigan School Vocal Music Teacher of the Year. So, Ms. Scott, we'd invite you to the podium to say a few words and introduce your family.
Thank you. I'll introduce my family over here. My husband is Jed Scott. He's the director of the Rockford Aces and a professor at Grand Rapids Community College and a stay-at-home dad and a baker of all things wonderfully tasty and baked goods and many, many other things. This is my oldest son, Owen Scott, who's a senior this year, Julian, who is a freshman, and Daniela, who is an East Rockford middle schooler. And it's just a real gift to be teaching in this community after having graduated from Rockford High School. It was never really the plan, and then all of a sudden it became the plan, and it's really all of my dreams come true to teach at Rockford High School every single day, and to be a part of this community is a really special gift, and I'm very grateful to have received this award this year. So thank you for the recognition. I appreciate it.
All right, with that, we will pause for just a moment to allow those of you who'd like to leave to go ahead and do so. You're of course welcome to stay, but if you'd rather depart now, we won't take it personal. All right, up next on our agenda is our consent agenda items. We have 4 items. Approval of minutes from our January 15th regular meeting, presentation of bills in the amount of $12.7 million, certified staff resignations, and a petition to strike delinquent taxes. Can I have a motion to approve our consent agenda items?
I will.
Kelly, support? I'll second. Got Jake, thanks. All in favor, raise your hand and say aye. Aye. Okay, great, thank you. New business item number 1, Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Mr. Folsom. We are very excited about this item tonight, and I will turn this over to Allison Clemens.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. I'd like to invite Tom Vandergren from GMB and Jared Goss from OAK to come up, as well as Sean Hayward, who is our Director of Operations. So these are representatives from our construction team and our architecture team and from the district as well to talk through both the concept for the tennis courts at the high school as well as the bids.
Yeah, I'm Jared Gauss, Project Superintendent of OAK. We'll go through a little bit of the design here of the tennis courts and we'll get into the bids. So we're putting 12 new tennis courts in at the high school behind the weight room there. This is the existing tennis courts there, so those are eventually going to go over. We're going to keep the existing tennis courts in place while we do the project, and then the plan is to remove those and make that green space in that area there. So that's kind of the field that we're taking over there behind the weight room for the tennis courts. The tennis courts are going to be 12 courts going in. Layout is 3 each corner there. There will be portable seating or portable bleachers around all the courts with one set of permanent bleachers on the northeast corner there for like future matches and stuff like that. Also going to be a canopy structure in the center of the courts there, providing shade in the center of the courts. And then high perimeter fencing around the perimeter of it with the low fencing that kind of goes in the center of those courts, down the center of that walkway there. Also with this project, behind the weight room there, we're going to be extending the parking lot behind the weight room towards the tennis court area there, providing 20 additional parking spaces in there. So there's another little rendering of that shade structure in the middle, and the portable bleachers there, and then of course players playing tennis. I think it was a need for the. Am I out? Am I done? Well, that's the design. I don't.
Hit escape.
Hit escape.
Yeah.
Okay.
And pick the next one you want.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's the design. All right. On to the bids. Right? Yep.
Click this one each and explain the full change.
Apologize for this. Okay, so the tennis courts we put out to bid December 19th. And the bid window was December 19th through, I don't know if you can see that, but December 19th through January 10th. The bids were open January 10th. We had quite a few contractors in each bid category. Kind of go through this. So this is each bid category. We had quite a few that hit each bid category. Very, very good. Just a testament to the Rockford Public Schools and contractors liking to work in this district. All good contractors that came in with the bids. Wish I could see this. I apologize. So the big contractors that hit the big dollar amounts for this overall project is earthwork and concrete, the post-tension concrete to make it up for tennis courts. So the two contractors that came in low for that were Dean's Excavating for earthwork and Burgess Concrete for the post-tension concrete. Both really reputable contractors in the area, both local to the West Michigan community. Both have done projects within the district multiple times. I've worked with them many times and very, very good at what they do. And if you're going to have anybody do post-tension tennis courts, it's those two contractors. Going on the list, we also had Nugent Builders, who's a Rockford company that lend into general trades. They're very integral in the tennis court process, and all of them have done tennis courts, and they've all had success and did a very good project. So. The overall bid for this project was $2,355,851. I think our budget for this one set at about $2.5 million, so we're about a couple $100,000 under budget. So at this time, we recommend proceeding with the contractors and proceeding with issuing contracts to these contractors and proceeding with this project.
And that is our recommendation to approve the bid package in the amount of $2,355,851.
Okay, motion to approve? Nick? Move, support?
Support.
Tricia, any other questions or discussion? Yeah, go ahead. Nick.
Yeah, just a couple things. Could you, first of all, this has been the plan for quite a while, and the strategy was to increase the number of courts. I don't think we said that out loud, but the committee covered that several times, the Building and Site Committee. So we were at the bare minimum to actually host certain types of events, and now with the additional 4 courts, we can host a lot of other things, but most importantly, this was planned a long time ago, and to think that athletics doesn't just run over everybody else. Obviously, that field back there is used a lot by the band, but they were part of all of the discussions early on, or at least we were assured of that. So at the end of the day, this meets a couple of the big strategy things that we've had that have been on the books to do since 2018, 2019, passing the bond. And I think the only question that I think we should mention, I didn't hear the completion when.
Oh, I apologize. So this will be complete in August, beginning of August, prior to the fall season. So, and then again, keeping the existing courts active.
There's a tennis parent in the crowd.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yes. So it'll be done beginning part of August, ready for fall season. So.
That was my question. When is the tennis season? That starts?
I think there's
2 of them.
spring and
Spring.
fall.
One in the fall, one in the spring.
Yeah. So the spring season will occur on the existing courts. Okay. And then the fall, the intention is for the new courts to be ready for the fall season. Perfect. And then my follow-up question was, if that didn't seem like a ton of shade to me. It seems like minimal shade. If the bids came in considerably under, is there opportunity for additional shade? That's a good question. I think that there's some shading in the center area of that. That's something that we could certainly look at going forward, but
It was designed for future growth for other ads, but we wanted to kind of see how everything fell together.
Okay.
And then we can go from there.
Maybe there's future shade.
Potential.
And I did want to mention in the memo, the amount that we have there didn't include the contingency, and so that's the difference between the 2.1 million and the 2.35 currently. Thank you. You're welcome.
Other questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. Okay, thanks, everybody. Thank you.
All right, I'm going to ask them to stay up here for just another moment. If you want to.
Yep, our next bid is on the Valley View bus loop, and so this is part of the kind of the continuation for the fall when we open Edgerton Trails. We're also going to be redoing some things there at Valley View, and so I'll let Ms. Clements kind of describe this process.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. Yes, so we have an opportunity to remove the portables in front of Valley View and do some paving work there, as well as some bus loop reconfiguration. So I'm going to ask the same team to talk through that concept.
All right, how does this work? Are you okay? So, yeah, Valley View is primarily a paving project, just upgrading some old paving. But in that opportunity, we have the ability to tweak some things, right? So as we're dealing with that paving, you can see this existing layout, got the bus loop to the top, and then the main parking to the bottom of this bottom right of the drawing. And then it shows the 3 portables there that we're going to be addressing as well. This is a sketch of the new design. These are construction documents ready to bid. The 2 opportunities we're going to take in this project are the bus loop has some issues of being very tight. If you remember, the old loop was just a very tight circle. The buses have a hard time turning in that. And it actually creates a little bit of a safety issue where the buses, as they turn, the back end overhangs where the students are standing in the parking lot. So we're going to adjust that so there's more room for the students to stand where the buses don't interfere with them. And you can see that darker part is the enlargement of that loop, so it's a larger radius where they don't have to make such a tight turn. Busing, ask for that, you know, they're what are the odds? And I never have my phone on. Yeah, so they have a larger loop to be able to safely get around and not harder in the tires, all that kind of stuff. So that's the one piece. Again, everything you see paving-wise is going to be replaced, upgraded, but enlargement of that loop. And the other piece down below, you can see to the left, the portables are going to go. Okay, yeah, we've heard that from several. So the portables are going to go. That gives us not only more room in that parking area, but it lets us adjust the parent loop a little bit. So it actually increases the length of the parent loop a little bit closer, gets them closer to the front door, makes that all safer. And then yeah, we can put a curb in there to protect that a little bit better from the parking as well. So it's all improvements that will help that parent loop as well. And then, you know, as you know, with the new elementary, there's less students here, so we've got all kinds of positives in our favor that'll have less traffic already, and then we have more ability to put parents off of the road, so lots of pluses there. And then all new paving, so that's basically the project. You want to touch a little bit on schedule?
Just to touch base quick on schedule. So we're planning on bidding this out, accepting bids February 28th, and then compiling the bids and have a recommendation to the board at the March board meeting. So, and then project schedule is to start to do this project this summer, break down this summer.
And be done before school starts.
Absolutely. I mean, there would obviously be some coordination. I think we have furniture in there possibly going. So anyway, we got some coordination to do. But yes, it would go this summer alongside of those things. Yep.
Thank you.
So that bid will come back in March.
Yes, yeah, we should expect to see that at the March board meeting. So the recommendation is for the board to approve this Valley View parking lot and bus loop concept.
Great, thank you. Motion? Kelly, support?
I'll support.
Jake, any other questions or discussion? Are we adding parking spaces? Is that a net add, or is it going to be the same amount of spaces?
I think it's very similar.
Yeah.
It just lets the portions next to the portables are much more room to navigate in and out of those because
Yeah.
the portables are gone.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, great. All right, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you all.
Then our next agenda item is a classroom AV multimedia system bid, and I'll turn to Ms. Clements.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. I would like to invite Chris Muser from Communication by Design and Bob Stahl, our Director of Operational Technology. Okay, Bob's back there.
Bob was hoping he wouldn't have to come up.
Yeah. Front and center, Bob. So I'm going to let Chris lead the way with this bid, but this project includes new projectors, screens, the Kramer unit, which is the AV component that allows wireless connection from the laptop to the screen, laptop docking stations, which is fill in anything? Sorry, did I take your?
No, you covered it all. Yeah, so this is a district-wide project, improvements of the classroom AV. And she just mentioned improving the projectors from a bulb to a laser projector. It is improving the wireless casting system. And then also adding teacher amplification to every room, making every room consistent throughout the district as well. This helps improve teachers moving from classroom to classroom or building to building. They use technology in each room. We went out to bid in December. It says 2024, but that's 2023. And opened in January of 17th. During that time period, we allowed contractors to take a look at Crestwood, which currently has some of the older technology or current technology, and then the new technology that we're looking to implement throughout the district in their addition. So we had to kind of see what they were going to have to do and move and replace. 4 bidders showed up for that, and then 4 bidders also turned in responses to that. Digital Age Technologies provided the low and complete bid. When looking through their proposals and others, we saw that there might have been some ones that were close, but Digital Age Technology included everything we asked for. This will kind of follow suit along with the furniture improvements, which you'll also hear about, I believe, later. We had slated this for last year, actually, but as we saw that the furniture would be coming in new, it was good to just correlate those two and just do this all together. Otherwise, we'd have to remove stuff and install it later. So.
It's about a continuation of the same design that was implemented at Meadow Ridge in Belmont this last summer. So pretty much exactly the same, and it gives, part of the whole design gives the teacher station much more flexibility so they can move it around the room. Doesn't fix them in one spot in the room like the old setups did.
So the total bid is?
The total bid is $1,905,953, and the recommendation is to approve the contract with Digital Age Technologies in that amount to be paid with funds from the 2019 bond proceeds.
So do you ask the board to approve that this evening?
Okay, motion to approve?
I'll support.
Kelly and Jake support. Any other questions or discussion?
I had a question about the voice amplification.
Yep.
Is that like a clip-on kind of?
2 pendant mics.
You get a couple.
Yeah.
Got examples over here, you can see.
But it's the same, the difference is we only have that at the elementaries and some minimal middle school, but now this goes to the middle school and the high school to accommodate that. So they've had more requests for that, so.
Excellent.
Question?
Yeah, and again, this is just taking away from the committee report because everything on here I will address later.
Yeah.
But you can see the orchestration of this, following the furniture, that was something the committee talked about. They had already had that planned. And I think it's important to note that it feels like the technology squeezes, like first time we did this was 10 years, then it became 7, and now as you can see the speed of these things changing, here we are again, just 5 or 6 years later doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, just to make sure, again, this is all from the bond plan, and you can see there's space holders on every building, elementary building in particular, but there's spaces for this amount. So if you're looking to line it up with something, the bond pack that you have access to will have this on every one.
Good. Anything else? Thank you. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, that's everybody. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Chrissy.
Thanks, guys. Okay, we're on to new business number 4. Dr. Matthews, bond refunding.
Yep, bond refunding. As the board knows, we refinance some of our bonds, and I'll let Ms. Clements kind of describe that for us. And we're asking, this is kind of the final piece of the puzzle to get those bonds refunded.
Exactly. Thank you, Dr. Matthews. So as you may recall, at the November board meeting, the board authorized a resolution to allow the district the ability to proceed with a refunding of the 2014 and 2015 bonds. And on January 18th, the district locked in the interest rates, and we had a very successful bond pricing and sale. Our total net present value savings came in at just over $1.9 million, and savings percentage of 8.571%. And if you recall, the threshold that we try to stick within, at least for refunding to make sense, is at least within that 2 to 3% savings range. So as you can see, our sale was extremely successful, and we came in with a much higher savings percentage than we thought was going to be the case when we first started this process. So we're very thankful for that. So tonight, we're bringing to the board a ratifying resolution that will allow the district to proceed with the closing of the bond refunding. And so the recommendation is for the board to adopt the bond ratifying resolution, which is attached to the board packet.
Okay, this will be a roll call vote. Motion to approve. Nick, support? Support. Jake? Any other questions, discussion? Joe, call the roll. Yeah.
Patricia?
Yes?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Great, thank you. Then we're on to capital improvement fund resolution for prevailing wage.
So in the fall, the legislature passed some changes to existing law, and one of them was prevailing wage. And so as a result, we have to modify some of the ways that we dispense with our bond revenue. And so I'll let Ms. Clements kind of explain this. And we've gotten approval from Troon Law to do this, and so we think this will help us as we move forward with our bond project.
Thank you. So I'm going to do my best to break this down as in the easiest to understand way as possible. So prevailing wage, what is it? How does it impact Rockford Public Schools? Prevailing wage is the rate of pay that contractors must pay their employees, and the rate is set by the state of Michigan. The state is enacting a prevailing wage law that takes effect February 13th, which is tomorrow. And this law would require Rockford to begin paying prevailing wage on bond projects with bids that occur beginning and after February 13th. The district's construction consultants have estimated that prevailing wage would add 10 to 12% in additional bond project costs. So if you think about $1 million project, that's $100,000 in additional cost potentially due to paying prevailing wage that we didn't account for back in 2019 when this fund was approved by taxpayers. So the district consulted with its attorney, and there is an exemption to this law. The exemption only applies to bond proposals that were passed prior to February 13th. In our district, it's the 2019 bond proposal that qualifies for this exemption. The exemption says that if a portion or all of the project is paid for with millage dollars, the district would not have to pay prevailing wage. There's a belief in the legal community that the prevailing wage law was intended to exempt schools from being harmed by prevailing wage. The intention was for the millage language to result in bond-funded projects being exempt. However, bond projects are not paid for with millage dollars. Bond projects are paid for with bond proceeds from the sale of bonds. The millage pays the debt service on the bonds. So in consulting with the district's attorney, the district would need to set up a separate fund called the Capital Improvement Fund in order to utilize the millage exemption. As long as at least $1 of each project bid is paid for out of the Capital Improvement Fund, the district will not be subject to prevailing wage. The funding source of the Capital Improvement Fund is the operating millage proceeds. So the recommendation is to approve the resolution included in the board packet, which establishes a capital improvement fund in the amount of $1,000 using the operating millage proceeds funded by the 2024 winter tax collection. Are there any questions I can help answer?
So this would be a resolution that we need a roll call vote on, but need a motion and second, and then if there are questions, Allison can answer those.
I have a motion to approve the resolution.
I'll move.
Kelly, support?
I'll support.
Nick, questions or discussion? Yeah.
Again, Kimmy spent some time on this. We fully expect we'll probably hear something more about this. Again, we expect litigation. When I say we, not only does Allison and our contractors and our lawyers believe that, the lawmakers and additional law firms in Lansing also believe that this will be litigated. And just to make sure you guys know we're not the only ones doing this resolution. This has been talked about in MESB meetings, but I don't know that we'll see the litigation hit the Supreme Court, the Michigan Supreme Court this coming year. But it wouldn't surprise me if we're all still here when it comes back to the table. But in short, it's not like we're trying to run away from paying a prevailing wage. The issue really is that when this budgeting process occurred in 2018, 2019, and the bonds were passed, it did not have prevailing wage as part of the fundamental aspect of it. So for us, it would be anywhere from a $15 to $22 million exposure. So that's why we recommended sending this up.
Thanks, Nick. So this is the way I understand it, this is the mechanism that allows us to take advantage of the exemption that was intended in the new law, which applies in our case to our 2019 bond, which Nick just explained, didn't contemplate the change in the law, which would increase our cost, but it's only for the 19 bond. So anything passed from tomorrow forward would have to abide by the new legislation.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Right. Got it. Okay. Anybody else have a question on that? All right, all in favor, raise your hand. Oh,
No, resolution.
Roll call, I tried.
Yes.
Gary?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
Jake?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Barb?
Yes.
Okay, thanks everybody. Thanks, Allison.
Thank you.
Up next, item 6, MASB Labor Strategies Update.
So we had one member of the board attend the MASB Labor Strategies, and is going to give a brief report.
Yes, so said lawyers who I just mentioned earlier, many of the school attorney firms hold a labor conference at least once a year, sometimes twice. The takeaway from me is I like to learn about this sort of thing, but we're really fortunate here that, you know, I'm just basically going for an education and sort of a just due diligence to make sure we're doing things right. We're doing things more than right here. We're way ahead of the curve. I would say 60 to 70% of the attendees are superintendents and peers, assistant superintendents who have not had the ability to get as ahead of the curve as we are here in Rockford. So my takeaway is generally that. Now, in terms of the detailed things that I attended, I placed all of the content in a Dropbox folder. I'll send an email out where I put it. I did that prior to the thing. But the ones to focus on really are all of the the Public Employment Relations Act, all of the changes that Corey had mentioned in the last board meeting and in the subcommittees we've talked a lot about. All those subjects were covered, and there were a lot of discussion around evaluations for good reason. So I would encourage you to look at that one, and then the introductory one did a really nice job of covering some of these things, because it's, you know, it is a balance in terms of our reaction to laws changing generally is, but really it's a family discussion, and that's what we do here in Rockford when we're talking about some of these things that we now have to negotiate every year. So my takeaway is that we're doing things excellent here. We have been. If you're interested in reading some cool PowerPoints, they are in Dropbox.
Thanks, Nick. Appreciate you attending and sharing notes. Any questions for Nick on that?
Thank you.
Good, yeah, thanks, Nick. All right, up to number 7, furniture purchase. Dr. Matthews?
Yes, we have one last bid this evening, and I don't know if it's Allison or Mr. Randy.
Yep, I'll take it over, so I appreciate that. In December, I brought to you furniture approval for some teacher stations and student furniture, primarily at the elementary level. You might recall at a previous board meeting, I shared with you our rationale around the physical environment and our intentionality around thinking about how our instructional design is enhanced by the physical components of the classroom. You saw an AV bid today. I bring to you kind of another episode of our furniture bids as we look forward to this summer and the renovations that we'll be doing around the district as well too. So the bottom line is we're really trying to be intentional about the learning environment for kids, and hopefully, positioning them in a way to increase their engagement and overall learning. And so it's an exciting project, and I think our district is fortunate to be able to have the opportunity. So today I bring to you a bid for our teacher furniture at Edgerton Trails, at Roguewood Elementary, and at Valley View Elementary. Additionally, you see in the big packet that there's student furniture for Valley View Elementary as well. So the total bid is for $1,173,000, and you'll see the details there. This would be the second large bid that I would bring. I also have one scheduled for March in our partnership. So basically what we're doing is trying to get ahead of all of the transitions that will happen over the summer, so that when the students come in on the first day of school in our district, there are new teacher stations in every building that will allow our AV and our technology to be the same. And then we'll have new furniture in most of our elementaries, concluding with Roguewood and Crestwood the following summer. And so we'll also bring up our secondary buildings for 25 as well, but we really want to have that start with the first day be clean, and we're kind of ramping up to do that schedule. So again, today's bid is Edgerton Trails, Roguewood Elementary, and Valley View teacher furniture, and then Valley View student furniture. You see the details in the packet.
So we'd ask the board to approve that recommendation, and so that we can move forward with placing this order.
I have a motion to approve.
I move.
Kelly, support.
Support.
Tricia, any other questions? Yes, sir.
This will be routine. I warned you, my wife works for one of the vendors, and while she's not directly compensated, I'll be abstaining. She does work in the sales and operations group, so I will be abstaining.
Thanks, Nick. Anything else? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. That's it for new business. We're into old business number 1, our policy update.
And so we will turn to Dr. Corey Wilson-Crawford. She has introduced our para updates. The new para language takes effect tomorrow, February 13th. And so we had brought this to the board in January and bring it back for approval this evening. And I'll let Dr. Wilson-Crawford say anything that she needs to say about this.
Well, thank you, Dr. Matthews. The board policies are pretty self-explanatory. We talked about them a little bit last month as well. These 10 policies just get us in line with updates to para that take effect tomorrow, just like the information about the bond. It's going to be a busy place tomorrow with all of these things taking hold at the same time. So these policies allow us to stay in line with current school code relating to labor relations. They're timely for us because we have 2 contracts that will be open this spring. Both our REA and our RESPA, our support staff contracts, will expire on June 30th. So we'll be actively bargaining, and we'll be using this new language this spring once approved.
So we would ask the board to approve these changes to our policies this evening.
Okay, motion to approve. Jake, support. Tricia, any other questions? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks to everybody. Old business number 2, elementary attendance boundaries.
Thank you, Mr. Folsom. In 2019, the Rockford Public Schools community passed a $174 million bond. One of the centerpieces of the bond was the development and construction of a new elementary school on the district's west side. We have reached the point where the new elementary school, Edgerton Trails Elementary, will be ready for students in the fall of 2024. The completion of Edgerton Trails Elementary necessitated revising our elementary school boundaries. In March 2023, a committee was formed to evaluate the boundaries and make recommendations to the Board of Education. The committee consisted of the following representatives: elementary building principals, parents, administrative and professional staff from the operations department, administrative and professional staff from the transportation department, and central office administrators. The committee met several times over the course of several months and developed the following criteria for redistricting: continue the neighborhood school concept, align enrollment with building capacity, create uniform class size throughout the district as much as possible, allow room for growth, ensure the socioeconomic factors were considered, ensure that the plan allowed for a good transportation plan. One additional consideration is important to highlight as well. An effort was made to ensure that elementary boundaries supported the East Rockford and North Rockford Middle School boundaries. This means that no elementary school will have a boundary that would include students who attend each middle school. The exception would be if a student intentionally does a transfer to an elementary school but will attend the opposite middle school from the other students in the building. New elementary boundaries were presented to the Board of Education in December of 2023. A comment page was created on our district website for parents and community members. There were 88 responses. All of the responses were read, evaluated, and carefully considered by the committee and the administrative team. It is important to remember that rising fifth graders, this year's fourth graders who will be fifth grade students in 2024-25, can choose to remain at their current elementary. However, the district would not provide transportation. Tonight, the recommendation is that the board approve the recommendations made in December with the following exceptions. Move from Roguewood to Belmont. The homes on Rogue River Road, Lane Drive, and Verda will continue to be at Belmont and will not be moved to Roguewood. Move from Parkside to Roguewood. The neighborhood on Jericho, south of the Rogue River and west of Jericho, will stay in the Roguewood attendance area. Move from Valley View to Edgerton Trails. The streets North Woven Ridge Court and South Woven Ridge Court will be assigned to Edgerton Trails instead of Valley View. With these three exceptions, the maps presented in December 2023 are the recommendation for the new boundaries. If the board approves these changes and the new boundaries, information will be sent to all families informing them of the elementary school for next year. The communication plan has been developed and will be implemented starting this week. And I'll turn to Ms. Clements, who will describe that a little bit, and if needed, help from Ms. Jacobs.
Thank you, Dr. Matthews. So in preparation for that, all elementary principals were sent communication last week to include in their newsletters. And this communication informed parents to be on the lookout for the 2024-2025 attendance boundary information and information on the in-district transfer process. This week, before midwinter break, every Rockford Public Schools resident family with an elementary student, meaning that they reside in the Rockford School District, will receive an email letting them know what their resident building will be for the 2024-2025 school year. This email will be sent to the email addresses of the parents and guardians in Skyward. The in-district transfer instructions will be included in the resident building confirmation email. Within this letter is a link to the in-district transfer application form. The link will also be available on the attendance boundary page on our website. The window for in-district transfer applications for the 2024-2025 school year opens February 14th and closes February 27th. All families that fill out an in-district transfer application form will be notified of the status of their request by May 1st. A similar process will be followed for out-of-district students. These are current Rockford students that do not reside within the Rockford School District. Communication that includes the out-of-district transfer instructions for the 2024-2025 school year will also be open for a 2-week window that will begin after the close of the in-district transfer window. All families that fill out an out-of-district transfer request form will be notified of the status of their request by May 15th. The school of choice process for students that do not reside in the Rockford School District and are not current Rockford students will follow the normal school of choice process. There will be a resolution on the March board meeting to address school of choice. More school of choice information will be available after that March board meeting.
So our recommendation tonight is as presented, and we would ask the board to approve that. And then if approved, we will begin the process of communicating with our families.
Thank you. Motion to approve the new boundaries.
I'll move.
Jake, and support. Art, support. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks everybody. I just want to say thank you to everybody that worked on this. It's a massive undertaking over a period of many, many months, and everything was laid out thoroughly, logically. We took more time to get comments and feedback, and I think there were some really reasonable tweaks made to the original plan, so I just want to say thanks to everybody for all the work on this. So I thought it went very, very smoothly.
Okay, so, and the parents who took time to engage with the district and share feedback and come in and meet with Dr. Matthews as needed, it was a robust community effort.
Yep, appreciate that as well, thank you. Yep. All right, so we're in the reports. Number one, our student representative, Camille.
Hello, my name is Camille, and I'll be doing the reports through the eyes of a student through February until our next meeting and what is happening. In the arts, theater, and music department, last night they had the chorale gala, and I believe that this was also with the middle schoolers, so the high schoolers collaborated with the middle schoolers and had a concert last night. The jazz band also had a festival at Central Michigan. I think that was that a couple days ago. And then Mamma Mia, their tickets are on sale. They're working really hard on this production. I would suggest getting those tickets as soon as possible. In athletics, wrestling, 9 of them qualified for regionals. Gymnastics, they have senior night tonight. I wanted to ask Haley about that, but she was sick. I don't know if anyone heard about that, but a lot of seniors got sick today, the night after the football game. Rockford varsity dance team, they are in Florida right now, and I texted Lexi, and she said that they were 12th in hip hop and 9th in POM. I don't know what that one stands for, but I just said good job. Girls bowling and boys bowling, I believe. They're in Hudsonville tomorrow and Jenison Wednesday. Hockey is in Mona Shores on Saturday. Esports, I believe they were at States recently. I also was going to talk to Dom about that, but I didn't get there. Ski team on Saturday. They'll be, I believe, in Canonsburg. And then boys and girls basketball, they have EK on Friday. And then competitive cheer, they're at districts at Hudsonville on Saturday. Current happenings, we had our first unified game last Tuesday, and this was a special education department along with a lot of our students that play basketball, and they had a game, and it was really, really fun. We're definitely, I think we have another one next Tuesday, but we're having another one for sure. They loved it. Winter Wish Granting Day, we just had that. A lot of student council members. It was really hard because it's just a long stretch between spring break and we just had our winter break. It's a long stretch, and we delivered lots of flowers and hats and gloves to the students that need that pick-me-up. Blood drive was moved from last January. It'll be hosted this Thursday. Kindergarten deliveries happen on Valentine's Day, this Wednesday. Club Week starts tomorrow. That happens on the way to the cafeteria. Exam week is at the end of this month, and then we'll start our new try. Spring sport tryouts are at the beginning of March. Everyone's getting ready for that. Can Madness will start in March too, which is a fundraiser for those less fortunate. And then senior send-off again. That's in the counseling office. You can get your sheets, sign up. I think we have above 200 right now. I don't know. That's my mom's fortune. Any questions?
Questions for Camille? Thanks very much, appreciate that. Okay, up next is collaborative team reports. Dr. Matthews?
We have 2 reports this evening. Our elementary report will be from Blake Bowman from Meadow Ridge Elementary.
Thank you, President Folsom, Dr. Matthews, and the rest of the school board. It's been a very fun time recently in elementary. We have 2 pilots going on for English language arts. Over 1,000 kids are participating with 2 different curriculum sets as we are evaluating what the best direction is to move forward. Mike Ram and Sharon Wells have been instrumental in their leadership as far as guiding us through this process. There might be a big fist fight coming up over which curriculum we choose, but there's no doubt that everyone agrees that either one would be better than what we're currently doing. So there's a lot of energy and momentum behind both pilots. In terms of curriculum, we've also been giving the NWEA assessments over the last couple of weeks. And on April 23rd, we look forward to meeting with Mike Ram and Maggie Thalen for a data summit, where we will really make a lot of decisions based on that data from the assessments to drive instruction over the final few months of the school year. I don't want to alarm the Human Resources Department, but we have a new elementary staff member. Phoenix, a counseling dog over at Lakes, has joined the team, and so our counseling dog pack is growing and growing, and that's been a lot of fun. In January, we celebrated Martin Luther King Day, and we were featured on local news for some of the opportunities we found to provide instruction on that day. That's continuing through with Black History Month, and there's been a lot of read-alouds and other vital lessons being taught to promote and celebrate this important month. It's also the season for Valentine's Day and parent-teacher conferences, which means we're nearing the close of our second trimester, which is very exciting. Belmont Elementary had their fourth graders be the most recent to participate at Zoo School, where their kids go to Zoo School for a week. The majority of our elementary schools participate in that in fourth grade. Roguewood students recently went and saw Peter Pan. Not the real Peter Pan. They went and saw a play. Mr. Pewitt says transportation costs are too much to go to the real Neverland, so no luck there. Crestwood is launching their book bingo in March, and the most exciting thing on the annual calendar for elementary is the Battle of the Books. I'm very pleased to announce that Meadow Ridge won the trophy this year. Thank you, Dr. Matthews, for reading. So,
I did what I could.
And it was appreciated. So thank you for the easy questions that you gave us, and the Meadow Ridge defeated Lakes in the final. It was, I think, the 33rd annual event, and that's just been such a rich opportunity for our kids to get together and compete academically. Also, I believe you've all been invited. If not, you soon will be. Meadow Ridge has been honored by the local Talent First group. They are 100 to 150 local CEOs who are promoting early literacy education in the region, and we are one of 5 schools who have been recognized at Meadow Ridge for this early literacy award. So on February 28th, they'll be coming out to bring us some cookies and celebrate with us, so we're kind of excited about that. Thank you, Dr. Matthews and President Folsom.
Don't leave yet, we'll see if there's any questions. Thank you, Mr. Bowman. And our secondary report will be from Dr. Kelly Amshake.
Thank you so much, Dr. Matthews, Board of Education, and our district administration. It's always a privilege to be here. I'll try to not be redundant with Camille's report or Blake's report, but we definitely have some exciting things happening in our middle schools and high schools right now. It pretty much as soon as we return from winter break, we start thinking about the next class that's coming in. So we kind of have one foot in each school year, but in the last month we've taken the first real tangible steps toward welcoming those groups. So this time last week, I was at the high school auditorium with the class of 2028 and their families, giving them the first official welcome to high school. So it's an exciting time. Our counselors followed up with visits to the middle school to get those students signed up for their courses for next year, and then of course all the steps that move along with that. Same thing is true at the middle schools and at the 10-12 building, where the counselors are communicating about making those course requests so that we can start the process of developing that master schedule before student schedules are created. Like the elementary, we are actively engaged in NWEA, and at the middle school, DIBELS as well. And as Blake mentioned, they use that to both inform instruction and then also identify some targeted groupings and students so that they can program for those groups. But state assessments are also right around the corner. So after spring break, we will have PSAT, SAT, work keys, and M-STEP. And who takes what varies by grade level, but it's an awful lot to orchestrate. So great job to the staff who are working hard behind the scenes to make sure that that's smooth and a positive experience for our students. North Rockford Middle School has RAM time built into their schedule. And they are making the absolute most of that in a variety of ways. So they have peer-to-peer programs going on where they have general ed students paired with special education students. They have some mentor-mentee programs where upperclassmen math students are mentoring some younger 6th grade math students. They have created a career series where students can kind of start that career exploration. So that's really cool. River Valley is also looking into that college and career prep. And they have designed a course called College and Career Ready, where students investigate career paths, their interests, learn about soft skills, and now they are writing resumes and getting ready for mock interviews. So some really cool things going on there. Let's see, this was mentioned, the unified basketball game is indeed next Tuesday, and that is between the 2 varsity games. So hopefully you're able to make it for the whole evening, but if not, show up around 6:45. Hopefully that will be a great time. Last week, Rockford Freshman Center hosted Student Appreciation Week, something we try to do each year, where we recognize our students for all the hard work that they put into learning how to navigate high school for the first time. Each day had a theme. Students got popcorn on one day, they got ice cream sandwiches another day. We had Foosball America come in. They hosted a tournament and gave away an Xbox that we didn't even pay for, so that was really exciting. Also, parents and staff donated many prizes for a special raffle, and we had a fun assembly at the end of the week. So just a really great week in the building. We also had parent-teacher conferences recently, and it's just great to see our parents flood the building when we have the opportunity to do that. And then lastly, we recognized Mrs. Scott, but you would have also seen her on Saturday at the district solo and ensemble, where we had band students, orchestra students, and vocal music students competing. They can compete solo, duo, trio, quartet, and then they play in front of an adjudicator who gives them some comments and feedback to prepare for state level competition, and then ultimately a score. So exciting times. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we are down to reports number 3, committee reports. I think the only committee may have been building a site.
The entire agenda we just covered.
Yeah, so we're good there. Okay, so we're down to recognition of our visitors and hearing of people present. I want to take a moment to outline the guidelines for the public comment portion of our meeting. First and foremost, we value and welcome your input and feedback. We believe a collaborative relationship between our schools and the Rockford community is essential to achieving our shared goals. Public comment at the board meeting is intended to give the Rockford community an opportunity to address the board on issues in Rockford Public Schools. At our meetings, the board and individual board members will not directly respond to comments or questions that arise during public comment, but may follow up through the superintendent. We ask that you limit your comments to 3 minutes to ensure everyone has an equal chance to express their views. Please be respectful and avoid using inappropriate language or engaging in personal attacks. We want to create an environment where everyone feels comfortable expressing their opinions without fear of retribution or harassment. To ensure due process and respect for individual rights, the district maintains a formal process for handling complaints against individuals. If you have a problem involving an individual or a specific incident, we encourage you to consider addressing it through administrative channels by contacting the superintendent's office. Furthermore, we ask that speakers express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy of others who may be affected by your comments. While it is not our intent to stifle public comment, speakers should be aware that if your statements violate the rights of others under the law of defamation or invasion of privacy, you may be held legally responsible. If you are unsure of the legal ramifications of what you're about to say, we urge you to consult first with your legal advisor. We encourage you to provide constructive feedback and suggestions for improvement, which helps us improve our schools and better serve our students, families, and community. We thank you for taking the time to share your thoughts. We look forward to working together to ensure our schools continue to be a source of pride for our community. Lastly, please remember public comment at our board meetings is one way we hear feedback from the community. It is certainly not the only way. Those who prefer other means to communicate often do so via email through the district website or by calling the superintendent's office. Just last mention, when we call your name, please come on up to the podium. And be mindful of the timer on the screen. Speakers are asked to address the board, not the audience or others in attendance. And the audience is asked to remain quiet, so speakers may be heard without interruption. So with that, we have a list. 7 folks signed up to speak tonight, starting with Spencer Hayes. Spencer, come on up.
I am here to speak on my experience and knowledge of transitioning and how it can benefit versus harm those who choose to transition socially younger. To socially transition means that you change your name, your appearance as well as your pronouns. It does not mean you start hormone replacement therapy or have any medical transition. It is rare for anyone to receive medical transition under the age of 18. Statistically, transgender students in general that are out to their parents only get support about 1/3 of the time. They are also at increased risk for depression, self-harm, and suicidal ideation and actions. which they were 2 to 2.5 times more likely to experience in comparison to their cisgender queer peers, and 7.6% or times more likely to experience compared to their cisgender heterosexual peers. This is the experience of about half of the transgender youth population. To put this in perspective, 1 in 5 transgender youth have seriously considered suicide or attempted it. Not because being transgender is a mental illness, but because it's not. It's knowing that you can see yourself in a better, healthier spot. With affirming care, you can decrease the depression by about 60% and 73% for suicidal ideation or harm or actions. This is all according to a study published in 2020 through the Journal of Adolescent Health. The increased risk comes from lack of support, lack of mental health care from affirming mental health providers, as well as bullying not only from peers, but also adults. Throwing into the current events of banning transgender affirming health care, as well as transgender bathroom laws into the mix, it adds so much stress and anxiety. These adolescents are afraid for their future, and I don't blame them because I am afraid for my future as well. In my opinion, the school did the right thing by keeping mental health records confidential of this student. And I urge everyone to think about the student and the other students out there that are transgender and are trying to be themselves that don't have supportive parents, because their anger from the parents, it's not worth it. Not worth the students' lives. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And up next is Emily Whalen.
Good evening. I am back because I didn't get to go through all of my comments from other parents regarding the early release schedules. As a recap, we went from 8 to 18, and it's not just me that's coming here and voicing. So I will get right into the comments that I have here. In 2022, we had the Friday before Memorial Day off, which is a big weekend for Michigan families. We also should have a mid-fall break, as an afternoon off does not allow our kids to fully recharge, and going from August to Thanksgiving is a long time. I would take these breaks over extra early releases. Next, I wish my child could stay at school to do homework, as they have sports after school. So they come home, go back to school, and come back home, which is difficult to manage every other week. And they are told they cannot stay at school. It is a logistical headache in a household with 2 working parents to take time off work every other week, and serves no genuine benefit to our kids to have them in school less and less. Would much easier to manage 1 more full day off every month than an early release every other week. I fully support our teachers and understand the need for adequate lesson planning, time, and development. However, the frequent half days have been extremely challenging. They fall right in the middle of our youngest nap time, so even though my husband works from home and is able to physically get our oldest, he is having to wake our youngest up to do so or skip her nap completely. Reducing to once a month or having 4-day week once monthly would be preferred in my eyes. I support teacher development, and we can find alternative options during these times to keep our kids in school. This is very hard on working parents, especially single working parents. I am in full support of our teachers receiving professional development and collaboration time, but I feel it would be a better use of teachers' time to have full day opportunities for this that will also allow families in the district to plan better for a full day off than so many half days. This is extremely hard for working families and so disruptive to classroom learning when schedules are changing almost every other week. I believe the district is losing focus on the education and instruction of our children. Between typical early release days, days that become school holidays for sporting events, and snow days, having an early release day every other week is excessive, especially for elementary students. While I am 100% supportive in understanding that teachers need these days for training, this many ER days is making it challenging for families that do not have flexible schedules. I would love to see the number of days reduced and training for longer periods. Having the kids be released earlier in the day but less frequency is causing conflicts for families. Thank you. I know everyone is eager to get that schedule. So thank you for your work.
Thank you. Up next is Ben Smith. Is Ben here? Oh, not here, okay. Charlie Curtis.
Good evening. I appreciate Spencer being here. I disagree with him on a lot of the facts that were presented, but I appreciate him being here to articulate his position. I've been trying to understand how a school system such as Rockford, with a history of excellence in so many areas, can create policy so contrary to common sense and positive well-being of students. By accepting and promoting the imagination of gender theory and codifying the active suppression of parents' rights, as with the Meade family situation, it's been proven beyond a doubt that these things are happening. So I've been, thinking about it. My conclusions are threefold. It either has to be bribes, coercion, or bad thinking, and I'm not qualified to address bribes or coercion, but would hope that you would have the courage to resist bad policy due to political pressures coming from above. Because I don't see any effort to resolve the Meade case or the pornographic book issue that are requiring lawsuits to resolve, I have to believe there's a serious thinking problem resulting in bad policies RPS is embracing. Seems to be adopting Marxist tactics whose goal is to target children and remove them from parental control. Marxist doctrine tells us, quote, "The purpose of education is not the communication of knowledge, but the sharing of social experience. The education of all children, from the moment they can get along without a mother's care, shall be in state institutions," unquote. Now, whether or not you understand that this philosophy has been embraced by Rockford Public Schools, with most parents totally unaware. They expect that knowledge is the goal for their children, but an entire feelings-based system has been adopted without their consent. This includes a whole range of dangerous and erroneous concepts, including gender theory, diversity, equity and inclusion, critical race theory, social emotional learning, uncritical environmentalism, and more. All designed to generate feelings in children rather than instill knowledge. This is the art of brainwashing, not education. Parents are not the unsafe problem here, as your policies seem to indicate. Look in the mirror. Schools have become dangerous places for some children, and parents need to better understand what's going on in order to be able to protect them. Protecting our children is very serious business, and many of us believe you are naive to the dangers they are facing and not up to the job. Allowing woke social contagion to infect Rockford Public Schools is happening on your watch and degrading education for all students. There is an emergency descending on the school district, and you seem oblivious. Seek the truth, and it will set you free.
Okay, up next is Shannon Tanis. Shannon, come on up.
Hello, my name is Shannon Tanis and I live in Kent County. I do oversight for transparency, for government accountability. I also do oversight for FOIA and Open Meetings Act. I engaged this body regarding the incident that happened here in Rockford, and I'm very appalled at the conduct from what I'm seeing or the lack thereof. At this point, an appeal hearing was requested and has not been scheduled. The multitude of FOIA violations that this body has committed and Open Meeting Act, it is very self-evident that you're being very selective and confident in your engagement. I am going to be contacting the attorney, which I already have, with the lawsuit that is currently going with the gender issue and medical records, because I think it's very important and of public interest to disclose what your Secretary of the Superintendent has done to alter and make public record in her favor. Not to mention that you guys don't know how to move the proper business when it's presented to you. I'm very, very appalled at everyone's conduct regarding this incident. And if you would like to engage, I would implore you to, but at this point, I've advised Ms. Ritzema that she needs to file in court against this body. Thank you.
Okay. Up next is Andrea Jacobson.
Good evening, Board of Education, Dr. Matthews, and Central Office. Our building administrators, teachers, professional staff, and counselors are at the heart of our schools, interacting with our students day in and day out. This past week was National School Counselors Week. Often, our school counselors are unsung heroes in the lives of our students. They guide students through academic challenges, provide emotional support, and help them navigate the complexities of adolescence. Supporting our school counselors is an investment in the well-being of our students and our overall school environment. On Monday, there was an information night for incoming freshmen, as Dr. Amshay mentioned. I appreciated getting to learn who the counselors are in that building and that my child could hear firsthand all of the resources available through their office. Thank you for your continued work in staffing our buildings with counselors and partnering with REF on programs like the Therapy Dogs and Developing Healthy Kids. In addition to the counselors, our teachers and professional staff play a pivotal role in the shaping the future of Rockford students. They go above and beyond to nurture young minds while facing diverse challenges in the classroom. Continuing to provide them with professional development opportunities, along with mentors and collaborative team time, not only enhances their effectiveness, but contributes to the overall success of Rockford students. There are counselors, teachers, staff, administrators, coaches, and volunteers interacting with Rockford students every day. We need to continue Rockford's work of having an inclusive and supportive learning environment. By fostering open dialogue, promoting cultural understanding, and implementing educational initiatives to celebrate diversity, we have the opportunity to cultivate an atmosphere where every student feels valued, respected, and safe. Embracing those efforts not only enhances the educational experience at Rockford, but contributes to the development of empathetic and socially conscious graduates. Working together, we can create an environment where our teachers, counselors, staff, and students thrive. Thank you.
Thanks, Andrea. And last time on the list is Nate Gray.
I have no comment.
Last item on the agenda is Superintendent remarks. Dr. Matthews.
Thank you, Mr. Folsom. We're excited to share that North Rockford Middle School has 10 students with artwork in the Michigan Art Education Association Region 9 show. And their work is being shown downtown in the Grand Rapids WMU building. We are continuing our strategic planning process. We have had a district online survey, focus groups of parents, students, and community members. And now we're moving into analyzing the data that we have collected, and we're excited about the process and look forward to working with the board to finalize our vision, mission, and the targeted action steps for starting for the 24-25 school year. I received a call this week from a grandmother in our district, and she asked me if we want to work with the families in our district. I assured her that we did. I told her that we understand that the students who come to our district are the sons and daughters, the grandsons and granddaughters of the members of our community. We understand that our responsibility is to work with our families to help raise the children of our community. We have a partnership to work with each other to support the children who live in our community, and I believe that we're doing this. I also told her that we listen to our families and we also listen to our students. We have an incredibly rich and diverse community, and all of that comes in the doors of our buildings each and every day. Not everyone believes the same thing. Not everyone sees the world in the same way. But when the students come to our classrooms, what we can do is treat each student with respect and honor who they are and the rich heritage that each one brings. In January, I had the opportunity to be part of a delegation of educators to Guatemala. We traveled to a small village in the mountains of Guatemala to help the village add on to the school that they were building. These people had very little in the way of material possessions. But what they did have was a deep belief in the transformative power of education. I see that same belief here in our community. We believe that schools and teachers and families and students working together can transform lives. It is a responsibility that all of us take seriously each and every day. We may disagree at times, but we understand that our common goal is to create a school district where our students can thrive. And that's my report for this evening.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Matthews. Just a quick mention, March 1st, the orchestra is going to have its 10th anniversary show at the Rockford High School Gymnasium, where over 430 orchestra students are going to play all together. They've commissioned a special piece of music for this event, so I just want to ask you to mark your calendars for that event coming up. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate meeting you here.